Hey guys, welcome to the channel everyone. You're not going to believe this. This introduction is after the video. For some odd reason, I deleted my introduction. I can't believe I did that. So here's what we're going to talk about today. Or should I say yesterday's. We're going to talk about pinning up an X4 cylinder. X4, that's the SFIC small format. These little teeny babies, but in Medeco. So we're going to highlight Medeco. See that Medeco kit? Well, underneath that Medeco kit is a very long X4 pinning kit. So we're going to get into that beauty. And we're also, which is going to really blow your brains out, we're going to get into my beautiful ITL key machine. We're going to cut the keys on that bad boy. So these are super close tolerances, high-end SFIC Medeco X4 keys. They're super high-end. I mean high-end. But they're nice, okay? Beautiful pinning kit. You're going to love it. And then also, we're going to highlight the Ilco Engrave It Pro. I'm going to engrave the numbers on the beautiful keys. So it's Engrave It Pro by Ilco. You're going to love it as much as I do. You're going to love it. If you stay till the end, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps my channel out. You're going to see all the wonderment of how to do this. I'm going to get into detail close-ups. You're going to see the pins, how they're different than Best pins. Best is B-E-S-T. That's the name brand. But Medeco has their own pinning kit, and it crosses all Best and all kinds of different cylinders in the X4 system. I highly recommend you get that. I highly recommend this. If you guys are locksmiths and you're looking for a pinning kit, you want to be a Medeco dealer, all you have to do is buy into their system. You're going to love it. So I'm going to show you X4, Medeco X4 today. We're going to engrave it. We're going to cut it. We're going to pin it. And you're going to love it. So let's get into the show. And you know how hard it is to do these videos. It's hard. And for me to push the delete on a video introduction is like breaking my heart. I went through all my videos and I'm like, as I'm doing the editing, you know, and I couldn't believe I deleted that. And you guys that do video, you'll understand. I'm going to show you some cool things too. The behind the scenes. All right, I'm going to take it over here. All right, here's my jig of how many lights you have to have and all the cool stuff to get in close-ups. I think you want to be a YouTube, maybe videographer. I think you might want to be one. And if you do, let me help you a little bit. Oh, also, I don't want to forget this. Someone sent me a soundproofing system for my key machine. Guys, look at this. This is so cool. I mean, this is crazy cool. Sound deadening stand. I am so glad they sent me this. And look at, it's got a freaky sound addicted. I'm going to find out if this is going under my killer key machine. Yes! Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Can you believe it? It's a 3-inch pad that this key machine will set on. It's also soundproofing material that goes on the bottom of the key machine called ITL. And I said, hey, can I open up the key machine and put this nice stick-on soundproofing on the inside? And they said, no. So, but I'm going to stick it on the bottom of the key machine and also on the bottom of their killer 3-inch pad, because I want to add a little bit more to what they have. When this is all done, it'll be totally dead silent, because if you know anything about ITL, ITL is already a quiet machine. I mean, we're talking about really quiet, because the machine is built so strong that everything is tight and it doesn't vibrate. And I set the parameters down on the machine so it goes real slow, because I'm not in a hurry, and it's really quiet. So let's get into the show. I think you're gonna love it. We're gonna cover 4 subjects on the X4 system, and you are gonna love it. So come on into the show and let's get with it, huh? Come on, let's go. Hey everybody, this is Mike with Door and Lock Tips. This ITL machine is so awesome. I got a brand new blade in it, and I'm cutting Medeco X4. Yeah, I love these keys, and this machine cuts them absolutely perfect. I love it. And also, I'm using my brand new Buck Tool Professional Metal Worker. Oh, with key removing deburrs. Yeah. What we've all been waiting for. This is really the litmus test. We're going to measure each cut and see how close they are to factory original cut depths. So each one of these numbers represent the cut depths right here in an ITL book. So let's see what the cuts really are on their ITL machine. So the very first cut, closest to the tip, let's make sure my machine is zeroed out, perfect. And this is all carbide tipped, Michitoyo carbide tipped. Look at that, what a beauty. All right, now we're gonna measure this. It's right at 219. All right, 219. So let's see if there's anything close to 219. Yes, 219 We're right at the 8 depth, and we're at 218. So it's better to be a little over. You can always adjust your machine and take off 1 more thousandths. But we already know this key works perfect. So the next cut is 293. So 293. Oh, that's dead on. That's a number 2. And that's exactly what my pinning chart says. It's a number 2. And then I should have, I believe this is an 8 right here. We'll find out. So it's a 208. Let's look on the litmus test. 208. So it's a 9. 208. So we're a little big, aren't we? We could trim a little bit off, but I'm thinking we're perfect. Oh, there it is. 205. You know, you got to put it in there right. So it's a 9 cut. 205. Let's get the next one. Oh, I just love doing this. All right, that is 256. So there we are, 256. That's a number 5 cut. 255. So let's check the next one. It's identical. It's supposed to be a number 5. 256. I can push a little bit. Maybe I'm not putting it just right. 255. These things are right on the money, guys. Look at that. 255 is again a 5. All right, now let's go to the next one. That is supposed to be 293. And it's dead on. 293, that's a number 2 cut. And we got, let's see, what's that? 293. And our final cut is, got to wiggle just a hair. 218. And let's see if there's a, oh wait, it was 318, wasn't that? No, it's 218. And that is dead on all the way across on this ITL 9700A. That's a number 8 cut. This thing is dead on the money. Thank you, ITL. And thank you, Medeco, for being the best in the world. Thank you, Medeco. I'm so glad you guys are here today. Now here's the real test, guys. You gotta have a Medeco cylinder already pinned up. And that's a Medeco X4. Guys, it's time to hit that like button before you forget. Go ahead and smash it. And you gotta have the key I just cut, and it's gotta work. Let's see. Goes in beautiful. Oh, it turns like butter. I'm loving it. And it comes right out. Here's a tip for the day. If you can't get your Medeco keys out or your best keys, you can take a little file and knock the high peaks off. Only do that if you can't get your keys out. Sometimes you'll have a hook at the end because your bitting is that way. This one's beautiful. This is a 7-pin, by the way. But sometimes, it doesn't happen always, but sometimes you're going to get a hook at the end and you can't get your key out very easily. And you can just take a little file, just touch these on the tips, and it'll come right out. They'll wear eventually, so you're just helping them out a little bit. These are nickel keys, so rock solid you can't believe it. Medeco is the way to fly. If you guys are thinking of buying a system, The X4 is the way to go. It crosses about 6 or 8 locks, different brands. This is the best cylinder it goes in. But if you're going to cross those keys, you can only use a 6-pin best. Don't go 7, it won't work. That's another tip for the day. So if you're building your master key system, build it on 6-pin. Even though 7 seems to be more secure, but you can't later cross these keys. There you go, guys. This is Mike with door and lock tips. Yeah, I'm loving it. Medeco. Hey guys, so now I've got to engrave everything. So I got to put a number across the bottom, and I have one of the coolest machines. It's the Ilco Engrave It Pro. That is so cool. And so all this is going to do is drag a diamond. That's a diamond tip. It's not going to spin. This can spin, but it's just going to drag it across the surface of the key. And Ilco makes these really cool trays. They just pop in. They're spring loaded at the top. Isn't that cool? So you just take them, you just pop them in. You got your keys, and these things are a fortune. So you don't want to wreck them. All nickel polished. Ooh. So now I'm going to engrave all the keys. Make them beautiful. I do like this machine. Oh, there it goes. They've made it different. They knocked out all these switches so you don't have all these parameters now out here. This is cool. The other ones just have one little teeny switch. Not cool. I can adjust everything on this one. This is a cool machine. Let's see. I want to make it go home. Where does it say that? Go home right here. Isn't that cool? So on the new ones, you don't have all this stuff. This is so cool. So go home. All right, so let's get engraving. So guys, you can put 21 keys in here. And this thing is grease lightning. So the day of hand stamping is over. This is a beauty. Kind of proud of it. I tried to get this laser to work, Genmitsu, but I don't know how to operate the software. I wish I did. Kind of a cool machine. And it would probably laser engrave, but I'm just going to diamond drag the old-fashioned way. Hey guys, we're engraving. It took a little bit for me to remember how to do this. I had to use an old computer, Windows 7. Now that's crazy. So Vision 10 works on all these platforms, but oh, I couldn't get my brand new Dell. So here's an old computer and the battery still works. You have to have their proprietary, and the rest is history. This really does a beautiful job. I can speed it up if I want. I got a little switch right here. They don't make any of these switches or any of this stuff on the new ones, which I love all that ability to change the speeds. Look how cool this is. Isn't this cool? Oh, I love that sound. So it's Engrave It Pro by Ilco. You're gonna love it as much as I do. I moved the lettering down so it wouldn't hit my phone number. That you have to have a little experience with. See where your phone number's at on the coining. because Engrave It Pro, they have a preset size, and you can change all that. Isn't that cool? Now you can't punch a number that good. That's really cool. I put a sacrificial key over here because I couldn't remember how to get rid of that last number. So there we have it. Look at here. They're all engraved and they've been cut properly. Isn't that wonderful? So Ilco, you did save the day. And I'm going to say thank you, Engrave It Pro and Vision 10. You got to have a little foreknowledge reading. I've done it for years, and even every time I touch this thing, it's like brand new. I don't know why. You can't let months go by. There you go, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button. Door and lock tips. Smash that like button. I mean it. You'll help my channel out. So guys, remember these just pop in just like that. Isn't that cool? There's a metal clip at the top. And when you buy these platters, I mean, they're worth the money. You can sometimes get them from Locksmith Keyless for real cheap. Highly suggest you shop these things, and they're all specific for each different key. I've got a lot of them just for the stuff I do, Yale and Medeco, and a bunch of little stuff. Isn't that beautiful? I do love the engraving. Look at that. You can't get any better than that. And that's what I engraved the numbers. So I sanitized the software so it would do that. Oh, I do love this stuff. Engrave It Pro. And there's the head. Isn't that cool? Let's see here. You can adjust the size. Everything's cool. Now, it will cut. You put different cutters in here. And I have all the cutters. They're all brand new, by the way. I've hardly even used them. And I have engraver plastic. And you just stick it down on this platter. Take this platter off for keys. And just put in their sticky platter. Engrave numbers on doors. You can cut your own little door tags. You guys have been asking for this, so I'm showing you some close-ups. And they just pop right in. Doesn't take much to hold them in. And when you're doing lots of keys, this machine is spectacular. Really great. See, there's all the speeds. I can control the speeds on this one. They took them off because on the new ones because they don't think anybody needs it. They just want a unit that just engraves keys. But you know, you want it to do everything, don't you? Come on. You do. Hey, great news, guys. I'm going to show you how to engrave a key from the software. I bet you can't wait. I have one word I got to put on a key. Control. All right? It's the control key. And I'm using my ancient, we're talking ancient HPC Windows 7. This is crazy. It works perfect though. I plugged it in, the battery's rock solid. I can't believe it. I only paid like maybe $300 for this thing back in the day. And in its day, it was fast. So it's running the Engrave It Pro foolproofly, because the problem with Engrave It Pro is you got to have this cable, which is Ethernet cable. You got to have it. If you don't have an Ethernet cable, and this computer has one on the side of it, can you believe it? A plug-in. And the old USB, because the software uses a dongle. What a hassle. But you know what? It engraves beautiful. You're going to see. All right, there it is. The Engrave It Pro. It's all turned on. And when you send the software, the start button starts flashing. So I got one key, control. And it's going to be right down here at the bottom. So this engraver is just revolutionary. I can't seem to kill it. It's wonderful. So let's look at the computer software. Oh, it's so wonderful. Vision 10. All right, here we go. Got my old HPC. See if it'll turn on. Oh, tell me you'll turn on. Oh no. It's dead. It's dead. Okay, it's alive, guys. It's got a fingerprint reader on it. Back in the day. Look at that, a little fingerprint reader. All right, here's the software, Vision 10. I already put the word control on it. Vision 10. So now I got to take a little teeny weeny, this thing's very small, pad. I got to move the cursor over to the side and push the engraver button. See that? Engrave. So I touch that. Got to tap this a few times to get this to play. All right, now you go down this rail and you want to make sure that everything's checked off except the tip. And you got to make sure that it's diamond drag. There's no touch screen here. So diamond drag, you can change it in the software to all kinds of stuff. You can cut plastic, but I'm just dragging a diamond. That's all I'm doing. Metal, diamond drag. Now I go ahead and touch this. Now watch, there's a spooler, they call it in here. And you touch that, it's spooled. Now over here, it's blinking. That means the cable that's plugged to my computer, that Ethernet cable, the back of the Engrave It Pro, and that all should work. So here's stop in case something happens horrible. And you got to push start. So let's go ahead and push start. I'm going to push start, guys. Here we go. Right across here. Right here. So let's get a good shot. And you're going to love it. So let's start. I hope it works. Oh. Got to stop it. I've got the wheels spinning. That's crazy. Don't want that. Checked off. So let's go ahead and block that off. It's got to be blocked off. So everything is blocked off. These other things don't matter, but right here, they do matter. So I'm going to redo that. It's diamond drag, but it was going to... Boy, my belt's bad on that thing. So let's go ahead and re-spool it. There we go. We're ready to go. We got a blinking light. Oh, I got to go home, though. Go home. And we're going to push start. Oh, you know, I got to set it. I got to send it again. Oh, man. What a hassle. You're going to love the word on there, though. All right, let's redo it one more time. And we just got diamond drag. We're going to re-spool it. There. Now send it again. It's blinking. So we don't want this belt spinning. You know, that belt wore out. I don't cut things with it, and that thing is shot. I got a new one. Start again. There we go. It just has to drag it. There we have it. Control. I couldn't have punched that in so beautiful. Engrave It Pro. If I did it a lot, there wouldn't be no mishaps, but I don't do it much. But it is beautiful when you get a chance to use it. It's worth its weight in gold. Hey guys. Hey guys. I'm going to pin a Medeco X4 cylinder now. And sometimes you just got to have some subdued lighting and you're sitting at your pinning tray and you got your beautiful pinning kit. Oh, I love this Medeco. I'll show you inside of it. It's like a jewelry box. Oh, they've got such killer pins in here. You know, some guys say, oh, you can just use the best pins, right? In place, don't buy those Medeco pins. Well, first of all, you lose your warranty, if there is a warranty, I guess. And the pins, I'm looking at them right now. They're beautiful. And you're going to get a bird's eye view. So I got one cylinder to pin up. It's a Medeco X4. You're going to love it. And then I'll test out all my 20 keys, make sure it all works. I had another Medeco cylinder pinned up, so I checked all these keys, trust me. As you're cutting, you check every key because these are not cheap. So let's get into it. Oh, I love the engraver and I love this lighting. I got this from a company on Amazon. The company's name is NovaSpig. I love these lights, guys. These are the killer lights. Magnifying glasses. You can extend it out. Let's see, can I see you? I don't know. But I can sure see my stuff underneath this. Oh, I tightened it up. Oh, look at there. I can see everything. Plus, it's got a light. Look at that. And then I've got another one, little teeny one. NovaSpig, great company. I'll put a link down in the description. Let me get my camera over here on my killer stand. Look at this thing. I can take it all the way out, all the way in. There are some cool tools, guys. If you want to know about these things, leave a comment in the description. And I'll tell you about them. I can leave links. It's very hard to find all this stuff. I've kind of solved all that for my pinning adventures. So let's get into it. Yeah, NovaSpig, yeah. I'm gonna do a fly-in. You guys all love these fly-ins, don't you? Look I got a stand that's for laptops. I can put that down in the description too. It holds your pinning trays. Even this big monster Medeco X4, that's kind of a big one. it holds it so that you can turn it in such a way that you can get it on an angle. Because when you're pinning, you need to have it on an angle, not flat. Some pinning kits are like a wedge, which are cool, right? But not this one. Now look at these pins. Let me get my magnifying glass in here. Look at this. Oh, we can really do some cool stuff. Look at that with the magnifying glass. So these are the cool pins. And then when you get really down to it, oh, I want to show you some cool ones. There. Where are they? They're cut in such a way that they're... Oh, there they are. Look at these. That's a bottom pin. Oh, it's cut in the center. And so is this one. Look at that pin. Is that cool? Love these cameras. Yeah. Great stuff. All kinds of serrated type things in there. These are all nickel pins. These are the bottom pins. And then you have all the top drivers, and they are funky too. Super custom, great high tolerance stuff. And then in this pinning kit you get sliders. I added that stuff. But here's the top caps for some cylinders. And because this is a multi-function pinning kit, X4. This pinning kit covers Best, Sargent, and Corbin. That's what this does. These cross. This X4 crosses. Is that neat or what? I love X4. And it comes with some goodies in it. All the springs. Even comes with your, it used to be called key mark, but really the key mark cylinders are turned on an angle. Let me grab my cylinder here. Right here. So this one is not pinned. So this one is pinned right here. And key mark used to be on an angle, the keyway, and people hated that. And so Medeco, who owned key mark, changed the name to X4, and they turned the cylinder so that the key doesn't have to be on a sideways kind of weird fashion. I do like this a lot better. This is a 7-pin, and I have a cool stand right here. The stand is how you want to pin them up. Get it from Amazon. It's just a jack stand rubber grommet. I do love these fly-ins because I can kind of show you what I'm doing. And you can get all this stuff from Locksmith Keyless. Don't hesitate to call them. They will sell to non-locksmiths and locksmiths. As long as you got some cash, they will play, which I really highly recommend them. Here's their idea of a master best cylinder. This is when they sent me this outside housing and the core, and that particular beast is a small format, but guess what? They mastered it. So you can buy it pre-mastered, put it in your building. Here's their master keys. And they got a core key. You get all this all in one box with this cylinder, and you will be happy, happy, happy. So call them boys up. Locksmith Keyless to the rescue. So if you're not a Medeco dealer, but you want a master keyed system and you don't have any way of doing it, they will do it for you. So there's the model number. Just call them up, tell them Mike at Door and Lock Tips sent you, and they might give you a discount. Maybe, maybe not, but I would definitely say it. They kind of have a symbiotic relationship with me, whatever that means. I do like Medeco. So let's get into the party. I got to put you on a stand now. Isn't that cool? Right over the show. Let me get it tightened. Look at this. I can get you right in the show. Is that cool? Is that cool or what? Let me get it adjusted so everything is neat. If you guys are getting into video, just give me a call. I'll tell you what you need to get. You gotta get a lot of stuff from Locksmith Keyless. Now these particular keys though, you have to be a Medeco dealer, and that's what I am. Got to buy into the system. But look at this. You can't take one of their cylinders and cross over the keys, right? It just doesn't work. This is an A, and their keys look way different, but we're in the same small format world. Isn't that neat? We're in small format, but the milling on the key is way different. Let's get some light over here. There we go. I love those Novus big magnifying glasses. When you get older, you got to have some glasses, right? And the magnifying glasses are the way to fly. So there's my keyway. It is cool. It is wonderful. It is spectacular. And I had Medeco when I first originally bought into their system years and years ago. I had them put my phone number on it, my name, and then I just engraved that number right there. See it? That number, 119, I engraved all these keys with my Ilco Engrave It Pro. Yeah. So let's get pinning up. Okay, here's what you're going to need to pin up these Medeco small format or any small format cylinders. You're going to need some light. Okay, so you got to get some kind of light, guys, whatever that is, because you got to see these pins are teeny weeny. You got to get a light, right? Hear me out. If you don't have a light, you can't see in the chambers. You got to be able to see these teeny pins. When I say teeny, I'm not lying. I think these are some of the teeniest, next to like a padlock. Some padlocks have teeny weeny pins, but look at these pins. They are so teeny as to not hardly believe it. There's some killer pins going in this cylinder. Look at even the top pin. I don't know if you noticed this one right. Oh no. Oh no, don't mess this up, Walker. Ah, almost dropped it. Look at this. Look at this pin. Look at that. Look at that pin. Let's get it close. Oh, look at it. How'd they do that? I want to know. Now all these stacks add up to 23. So it's your standard best format type cylinder, SFIC. And Medeco has incorporated that into their killer key system. And their key, I'll really be sick if I mess that up, but their key is a proprietary key, and it has a slider on the side. So there are some great features on this key. I do love Medeco. If you ever buy into a system, buy Medeco. It's the cleanest, easiest system to work with. The people are down there at the Medeco place are as nice as family. You're going to pay some money for this stuff, but not any different than other companies. And I firmly believe that Medeco is the best in the business, bar none. I mean, even the White House has it. They need high security down there, don't they? There we go. They probably have something so custom you wouldn't even believe it. This is going in a lever handle, commercial lever handle, already prepped for this small format. So you can't just put this in your house. You'd have to buy a different handle. Guys, I went a little crazy. I bought this tool. It's very heavy weighted. This thing is heavy. It's from Medeco. Oh, it might be Best. I think it's Best. Yeah, Best sells this. Why I bought it is just, I guess, to be cool. You can push the pins down with it. And this is an ejector. It really is. So let's see what it does. You just stick it in here. You can see it all the way through there. And you can get things all lined up with this tool. If I could do it. Oh, it's hitting the keyway. Okay, so this is to help you put the pins in. And it's just so cool. It's got the right weight, the right length. You know, you could use a bobby pin or something, but come on. Get the stuff. And then I use a drill. Not so much on these. These are beautiful. But sometimes on Best or knockoff Best, you're going to have to kind of ream this a little bit, just on the outside part. I just found that it's just the way it is. Not on Medeco. These are so machined, so beautiful. You stick it on your rubber stand you get from Amazon. There's a company that sells stands. I don't even want to mention them. They're really troublesome. You can't get the pins in. I just like to have a stand to, you're going to be picking it up and doing some work with it. But I just kind of like a stand to hold it. And this rubber stand really does a nice job. It's almost perfect for cylinders. Okay, I will give honorable mention. Now, I don't really like working with this company just because I don't. But they make this one tool that if you don't own it, I would only buy one tool from these guys. It's called Lock Caddy. And, you know, they can get rich from one tool, can't they? But look at this. This is a go, no go. Watch what it does. When you put the pins in, you stick this little jewel over the top. See how it goes here, like this. You stick it over like that. And when you have your pins in, you're going to be able to see without any trouble if you've made a mistake, because all these pins, if you've made a mistake, one won't be lined up properly. That is their claim to fame. Lock Caddy does make one of the, there's another company, but they are so pricey. But this is cheap, inexpensive. It's cheaply made. Okay, you might want to get two of them. They glued it together. I mean, look at it. There's not much class here, but you don't really need a bunch of killer machinery, I guess, on this. This company actually makes the best tools on the planet.
for SFIC. Get ready to open your pocketbook, though.
I don't know. It's kind of funky. But there it is. You got to have this. Lock Caddy. I'm not promoting this company, okay? I bought all this stuff. Oh, and you're going to need to get some of these.
They're made by a company called Lab, and they're a multi-pin ejector. But we're going to repurpose it just for pinning up these cylinders. Yeah.
I trim this down because I have a special loader to put the top caps on, and I'm going to show you just how cool this thing will become to you if you have the same machine I have. So guys, here's why you need that tool. These special, custom made now, I cut them down. This is for 7-pin, and this is for 6-pin. So I believe they sell them in a set. That is springs on there. I loaded springs. Look at that. Cool springs. So the reason why you need those tools is because you can't get your fingers in here and put springs in. This is Lab's IC Pro, and this is their jig that you stick these cylinders in to cap. So if you own this jig, you've got to own these tools. And you're going to trim them down so you can get your fat fingers in here. And what you do is you just tip the springs into the holes. You just get it lined up. I'm not going to do it, but you get it lined up and you tip this up and the springs will go right in. And you know you've got all 7 or 6 loaded with the springs. Because if you don't know you put a spring in one hole or you didn't, you can't pull this apart later because the springs won't allow you to pull this out and look. When you pull this like this, the springs are up inside of this thing. And put the springs in here. Did I do that? You can't tell. That's one major drawback. I sanded on the top of this a little bit so I could see a reflection. And I was trying to load those in one by one. And I was even thinking of stamping numbers on these. But I came up with this idea. This is your tip for the day. You need a spring loader for your IC Pro from Lab. Highly suggest you get this. This caps, if you don't know already, this caps the top of the cylinders. And let me just show you how beautiful. There's the caps. Okay, it pushes the caps down right here on the top of the cylinder. I wish Best didn't have this system. I hate capping. But if you have an IC Pro capper, I think it's called IC Pro. Let me look at the name. Yeah, IC Pro 150. IC Pro 150. If you have one of these, you will be a happy camper. And it comes with a big press. Well, I got it all back together. I dropped something on my tray, which was a plate for the capper press. And I mixed up my pins. What a bummer. So I'm going to be using this tool as I load. So let's do it. Here's my cylinder. And I'm going to start from the tip, okay? This is the tip. Number 1 is way out here. way out here. That's the tip of the key. So Best and started out with this crazy idea that from this stop, their first pin would be number 1. And you know, on everything else, keys have shoulders, but they wanted to have a 6 and a 7 key that would work for everything, and they just left off the shoulder. This thing's 100 years old, you know, 100-year-old idea. I think they're 80 years, maybe they're 100. But everything starts from the tip. Pretty wild. So does mine. They had to copy it. Their idea, anyway. Different keyway and sliders. So we're going to take these away. Well, maybe I'll leave them right there. Yeah. We'll just leave them right there. I don't think they give me any trouble. This is one of the keys I'm going to test with. And then I did master key this thing. So I have a whole master key system. And when I work with a master key system, you actually have to test your master key system out, okay? You have to. So you're going to use your master key and one of the change keys for the system. I don't think I have a master key on here. No, I don't. It's over here. I make these cool fobs out of aluminum. I get the aluminum from Alvaro and cut it up and make fobs because nobody takes these home in their pocket. So you give somebody a fob, a key, and they will take your key home, but not with this big thing on there. So it's cumbersome. So here's my master key system. Grandmaster and a master. So I have a pretty deep key system on this. So I will test all these keys as I go. That's just how it works. So now let's get down to pinning, which you've all been waiting for. And this is so small, guys. I'm so worried about pinning up these cylinders because one mistake and you gotta start over. But with this, you just test the depth on it. And I mean, it will help you tremendously. There's nothing in there, so they're all the way down. But you'll get what this does as I'm going. So this is number 1, so we're going to load to the back of the cylinder. Back of the cylinder, this is number 1. So let's give it a try. And I have to do it so my hands aren't in the camera. Oh, everything's tough with video shooting. So you use the conical end is down, goes down. And you don't want to get mixed up. There's your first pin. And then I always take, to get this thing lined up, your cylinder's got to be lined up, guys. Otherwise the pins won't go all the way down. You got to make sure this is lined up and that pin goes inside the key, the bottom plug. There, it just went down. So it's in the plug. Isn't that beautiful? X4, man. So you like this little tool. Spend the money, get some cool stuff, right? Cool stuff. I like cool stuff. So normally, how I would do this, if I wasn't shooting video, I'd have this setting right on my rubber grommet from Amazon for jack stands. This thing's like $2 versus all these horribly expensive stands, and it holds it really nice. You don't get any grease on it. This rubber's kind of sticky, and it holds that cylinder right there. But I can't really do it. Only because it won't be in the field of view of the camera. So let's go ahead and get another pin. Look at how teeny, that's part of the master key system. That's a number 2. And this little teeny core, and the top housing here of the cylinder, those pins want to go in sideways. And that really is not cool. So you got to push them down with your loader. Push it down, and that went flat. And then I'm going to grab this next pin. Oh, guys, look at that. Look at that. It's cut in the center. Isn't that cool? Like a piece of jewelry. So there's no top and bottom on this one. If you're going to put top and bottoms, always pick the thin part to go down towards your key. That'll make it harder for them to pick. Nobody's picking this thing. Look at how hard that is to go in there. It wants to flip sideways. So if you have a lab tweezers, you're rocking cool. I don't know how else you guys do this, but ooh. I think it went in there okay. Yeah, there, got it flat. These are so teeny, you got to push them flat. If you had a Yale system or something, anything else, Schlage, Yale, even Quickset, all the pins are bigger. They don't have a problem going in sideways. All right, let's grab the next one. This is my last pin. This is the top part of the Bible, they call this part, Bible. Kind of blasphemous, really. All right, so we got our Bible up there, filled to the brim. Make sure it's down. And let's see if a key works. Now, how you can test, this is so cool, right? You got this go, no-go thing, and looky here. That's sticking up, and you can put your finger on this. I think the guy's going to make one that has it spring-loaded, which would be cool, right? Be cool. Spring-loaded, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, he makes one great tool, this one. Now, I can hold my finger, which will act like a spring, and I'm going to take one of the keys, and if this doesn't turn, then I've loaded it wrong. Well, let's hope it works. Get it in there. Oh, looky here. See, I got my finger here, and I'm loading it. Oh, I'm happy, because it's a bummer to get a 7-pin system not right. Now I'm going to pull that out, my beautiful Medeco X4. I'm going to take this thing off, lock caddies, go, no go. Put that bad boy over there. And we're going to go to the next chamber setup. And grab our pin. Conical end down, and I mean that little end that has a taper to it. And you don't want to get these mixed up. All right, there's number 2 chamber. I just put that conical end down. I'm going to put the number 2, which is so teeny. Got it flat. Love that thing. Now this pin right here, this is a big old monster. I think it's like a 15 or something. But it's nice. That's easy to put in there. I want to make sure it's down. Oh, if you hold your finger on this part right here, it won't allow the pins to go down right away. Okay, and now we put in our last, ooh, don't knock these, Walker. All right, we're going to put in our last pin. Grab that little jewel. Oh, look at that thing. Is that cool or what? Now we're going to put that in. Come on, go. Oh, nice. All right, now you're going to get to see the beauty of this lock caddy go, no go. Ah, well, guess what? I must have something wrong here. Unless These bottom pins are sticking out. They might have been. They might have been. Well, I do have something wrong. The heights are different. Isn't this killer? This thing tells you you got something wrong. What in the world did I do wrong on that chamber? I did something wrong. And I know the first one worked. And let's just test it, see if the key works, because I guarantee it won't. Oh my goodness, it does. That is super weird. I must not have something down. Maybe I don't have something down, guys. Come on, baby. I have something wrong here. Oh, let me check it out. What a hassle. I gotta take a special supplied with that pinning kit. This is the ejector. And I gotta eject these pins out of here. So you push through the bottom. And I'm gonna eject these pins. I don't know what I did wrong. And now I'm gonna reload the second chamber and see what's wrong. But you see what a hassle this is if you got the pins off. All right, I just reloaded it and now it's even. I don't know if I had the pins sideways or something because, well, there's the pins, guys, and they're correct. I must have had one of them sideways. Probably that little master pin thing. But this go, no go is invaluable. You see why? You got to have them lined up. You capped that wrong, and even though that key was working, that's really weird. But the key was working, and it was wrong. Wow, that's weird, isn't it? It must be something to do with the master key system. But there you have it, they're level now. Do you see the value in this tool?
I highly suggest you buy this tool.
I wouldn't leave home without it. I'm giving that guy a lot of credit. You know, maybe I can get it in the scene. I pushed everything over. Let's try it there. I've got like 5 lights on this thing. Turn the lights out at my studio because I wanted to get a cool shot here. Oh, look at that pin, guys. Oh, man. Oh, that's so cool. All right, we'll put that down in the 3rd chamber. And we will make sure this thing's down. Hear that click? That thing's got to go down. Here's their little ejector. I'm glad they threw this in the pinning kit. Thank you, Medeco. All right, let's grab the next one. Are you guys having fun? I mean, what else are you going to do but have fun?
I think it's really time to hit that like button. It'll help me make more videos. Let's get back to the show.
That click, it had to lay flat inside that chamber. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, got that one in. If you've ever loaded these before, you know you got to push these down. And there's our last pin. Oh, that's so beautiful. All right, let's check our no-go. Don't you like this stand now? See it in action. They're all, ooh, they're all level. They're all level. We'll pick it out of my stand. Beautiful, beautiful. They have to add up to 23, so this type of tool will work. Hopefully you're getting a little bit of an education here. Covered a lot of subjects, really. So we covered the 3 first chambers there. Now you can always have some tape handy if you're really concerned about getting lost, which maybe you should be. You can take some tape. We're talking overkill, but if you're talking on a camera to a video YouTube audience, you might get mixed up. But you can count these, right? You got 3 and 4 is what? You astute wannabe locksmiths or professional locksmiths. Put the conical end down. Oh, I do love these things. It is like working with jewelry. We will put the number 2 pin in. That almost looks like a cap pin. So teeny. Hear the click? That thing was crooked in there before on that first chamber, second chamber I was doing. All right, we're going to put in a number 15 pin. Very nice. No matter what you do, you got to push them down. They just don't go down. And now our last pin. I wish they went down. They don't. They're so teeny. This is like working with a, let's say, a pack lock. Pack lock pins are just as small.
Hey guys, this is a pack lock custom pinning kit. Look how teeny. They even have serrated pins. This is so teeny.
You're going to pull your tape off. Stick it right there. I fold over one edge so you can get it off and on. And then we're going to take our go, no go. We're going to check ourselves. And this would be a common practice with a locksmith. He would check himself. Now there are some guys that, I just watched the video, the guy was racing to get these things done. Well, hey, good. Good for him. Good for him. Let them young. All right, we got 4 done. Now we're going to do another one. I don't know why anybody would want to race to get these done. But when you have like 25-year-old people doing this stuff, good dexterity, right? Good dexterity. But when you're old, 68 years old, you do it the old-fashioned way. Get it? Old-fashioned. I'm cracking myself up. Hit that like button, guys. Smash it. If you want more video content. Because if you guys don't like my videos, then YouTube will kind of not show them to you. And being a subscriber, you get to see them all the time. I did go through an operation. I'll just tell you that. And that's why I haven't been shooting any video. It was a pretty horrible operation. Okay, got that in. I'm not quite sure if I'm down, but we will take our go, no go, take our tape off. Only got 2 more chambers to go. Let's hope I did that right. Yeah, I did. You can look in there and see them inside. That's kind of helpful. All right, let's grab this Lock Caddy's go, no go. You'll be real happy when you see them all lined up. So you need some tools for small format. It's not like a quick set. These things, you got to have some tools. You just have to. I wish they weren't so complicated. When I first got into this, I thought, my goodness, who would ever invest in all these tools? And then you get a few jobs and, you know, you can afford to do it. But you got to break the bank just to start it. Especially buying a key from Medeco or any of these high-end companies. Buying the key is quite a bit. of money. You know, when I say buy the key, they sell you a certain proprietary keyway. It'll have a number to it. And only you in that vicinity should have that keyway. This is not patented anymore. But who cares? No one's picking through it. And even if they had the key, I mean, what are they going to do? Cut a $15, $16 key up to try to find a way through your lock? That would be insane. Wasting keys. Hey everybody, this is Mike with Door and Lock Tips. This ITL machine is so awesome. I got a brand new blade in it, and I'm cutting Medeco X4. Yeah, I love these keys, and this machine cuts them absolutely perfect. It really would be insane. All right, let's test this out. I did not push them down one by one. I should have, okay? I apologize. And I kind of know where I'm at, so I didn't have to use this tape anymore. Tape's a good idea. I love tape. I have Scotch tape everywhere. So let's see if we can see them all in there. Oh yeah, they're all in there, except for the last one. And oh, have I been testing the key? You know, I haven't been testing, but I have been checking the no-go. Let's check the key. Now, a spring acts a little better than your finger. Come on. There we go. All right, it's working. So that's the cuts on the key. You're seeing them sticking out here. Not adverse cuts, but it's enough to cause your hair to raise if you're trying to pick it. If you have hair. All right. Now, see, I'm pushing down, so that's creating some binding in the cylinders on these cuts. But if you had springs in here, it would be different. He needs to invent one with springs. It'd be real simple. Right here, put springs. All right, we got them all. Well, we know that one goes down. I just don't have it down right. All right. Let's do the last chamber. Ooh, yeah. Last chamber. Boink. Boink. Get them all down. And we'll boink this one in. Little teeny ones, they go in sideways. That one is great. It's all the way down. And then our last pin, 7 pins. I highly suggest you don't do 7 pins. No one's picking through this anyway. I was trying to get high security when I first started. And I'm still trying to get rid of these long 7-pin cylinders. I mean, they're great, right? But you don't need it. Where's my, oh, there it is. Go, no go. Why is that not going down? Let me push on this thing. It might be this sidebar. I mean this thing. That's kind of weird. That first chamber. I wonder if I got a pin sticking up in there. Come on, baby. Let me use my ejector. I'll just push them up and down. Come on. I don't know why that's not actually going down. There. Now, that proves to you, you have to push down. That little number 2 pin, which is a master pin, it was cocked sideways in there. Just a little bit, okay? things are so delicate. Drive you nuts. Oh, now we got reality. Success. Let's try the key. All right, that's their key. I have 20 cut for them and engraved. Beautiful keys. These are golden, guys. These are very expensive. I hate to tell you what they are. They're a lot more than 15 bucks. I wish they were 15 bucks. You know, I remember a day when everything from Medeco was like 5 or 6 bucks. 5 or 6 bucks for the key. Well, that's over. I don't know if tariffs have killed them, but they're made in America. So we have that done. So you know what we're going to do next? Normally, you would load the springs in, and then you'd use a little capper tool made by Lab themselves, and you'd bang them in with a hammer, right? But I'm going to show you an easier, softer way. You're not going to believe it. It's that jig I just showed you from Lab. They make the nicest jig. I got it for cheap, and now they're a fortune. I think they're like 1,800 bucks. For that Lab IC 150 capper press. So let's go plug it into that. We know we got the key right? Did we do everything right? Did everything right. And you're going to lubricate this afterwards. So let's go cap this bad boy. I'm going to do just a little bit of a flyby here. I want to show you the setup. So I have my camera stand, overhead camera stand. I've got a really nice light. It's long. I had to bring it in. I wanted to not run my big studio lights. I have the lights from Novus Big. Both of them are running. Plus I have a studio light right here. I'm running this studio light because I had to cast some light here. And I have a black light, throwing some light on locksmith keyless to make that glow. And that's how I do it. What a jig. I mean, really, come on. And then these beautiful keys. Oh, I love them. Now, I marked all the measurements. I wish they'd do that. I don't understand why they don't measure their own pins and put that on there. So you're going to modify your pinning kit. I marked the numbers on them so I don't get lost. I probably should have put the numbers below. Sometimes you get mixed up. So that's how I do it. And I do have some honorable mentions from Locksmith Keyless. And this rubber stand for $2. You'd be crazy not to buy it. You get a bunch of these for your jacks. I think you get 4 in a pack. Okay, let's go do this. Okay, guys, this is hard to get this all set up for you. I want to keep a subdued lighting. I think it's kind of cool. All right, here's my jig, right? Killer jig. And the plate goes in the back. Can I give you some idea how this works? Let's see. Plate goes in the back, right here. And when you push down, you actually punch holes in this. And you can punch 6 and 7 holes all at once. You don't have to worry if you're putting in 6 pins. The other little punch piece falls away. So you just buy these in packs of 250. I bought way more than I'll ever need. I've got like 750, 800, 900. I forget how many I bought. It was stupid. I think about 750, a pack of 500 and a pack of 250, yeah. Now, how do I load the springs in there, right? You're not gonna have this in. Gotta make sure that's out. Now, how do I load them in? Especially if you got a dark room like this. I can't see in here. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna show you. All right, that lighting's a little better. You take your loaders. You add the springs from your pinning kit. And all you have to do, when you cut these off, make sure they're all deburred or the springs will hang up. And I'm going to try to do this on camera. You just line this up with the front holes. Okay, I got it lined up. And you tip this up. There were 7 springs on there. And you tip it up and you push the springs down. All right, I got them all in but the last 2 back here. Last 2 are kind of hard to do standing here, holding it in front of a camera. But I want you to see the trouble that you're going to run into. Come on, baby. Okay. I got them all in. Now I know they're all in there. There should be a better system than this. That's the best I can come up with. Get it? Best. Now watch this. This is so cool, guys. Now there's a slot on the top here. This arbor, it has a slot right here. And so this goes in that slot. I do love this press. And there's a slot on the bottom. See that round part? There's a slot on this jig. So they all slide together. Just like that. And you press, they have their own pins, just like mine. This is kind of like this. And it presses down and you put this plate, which now I can spin this around. You can press any way you want. You could press this way if you want. But I can put the clip in the back, like so. Okay, I got the clip in the back. And there's a pin in there. See the hole there? You get that in. And the springs aren't in my way. They're way down. But they're halfway in this jig. So if you want to push this thing out to see if the springs are in there, the springs are sticking up and it jams and you can't get to it. That's why you got to be absolutely certain you put those springs in. And it kind of floats, which is cool. Got to have it on a good base, screwed down. Now watch this, guys. Here we go. You're going to have to wait for it because I got the camera in the road. Oh, I think maybe I can do it. Maybe I can. The handle is going to go down right in front of the camera. I can't have that. I'm sorry, I cannot have that. I'm going to put this in another spot. Okay, I think we're set. Look at this. You can punch it any way you want. The handle goes down and it hits that plate and it pops these holes right there into the plate and puts caps on the top of your cylinder, just like this one's capped, so that the springs are all trapped in the cylinder in the Bible up top. They call that the Bible. Okay, here we go. I want to push. You got to push kind of hard. That's why I use a bigger handle. This handle's so small. Now listen to the crunch. It sounds like a bad knee or something. Make sure I'm in. Oh, man. Okay, you press down. And guess what? We are cooking with gas. That is done. I'm gonna get a key. Oh, that's dried out. Let me make sure oh, you know what? I don't think I pressed it down hard enough. You got another try. Yeah, I didn't. What do I got? Glue on there or something? Maybe. Okay, it comes out. It has to come out, kids. Did I do a good job? I don't know. All right. I'm going to take a little file off the burrs. You know, I don't know if I didn't press those down hard enough. See this handle? It's so short, guys. It's so short, I can't get enough leverage. So let me push harder. There we go. Man, that is not cool. Now there's no burrs. And they're all the way down. That was funky. I mean, you never have a burr on there. They were sticking halfway out. The woes of being a locksmith. You've got to make sure those are kept properly. Oh, now let's test our key. The crown jewel of achievement. If it doesn't turn, you're up a creek. And it turns like butter. Now that's the way they're supposed to work. Just like that. Now guys, you've got to put tri-flow in there. If you don't put tri-flow in, things are not good. This is my concoction of tri-flow and some lab Teflon, because I like overkill. So I'm going to blow this in here. Overkill's good for me. It's not graphite, it's Teflon. And I just add to the Teflon experience. Now they're working great. But I got it on me. You really don't like Teflon on you. I don't know if you've ever read on Teflon. I mean, it's not our friend really. The environment hates it. But locksmiths love it. Oh, that works like butter. If it's in a lock, it'll really work. And I'm going to put it in a lock right now. Okay? You're going to love it. Look at it. Works great. Just a little tip. These brand new keys, they got high peaks on it. And when I say high peaks, see those tips? You can take a file and just touch the tips. Okay, not much. And don't hit the flats. But it will make the key come out easier. I don't know why you're going to have a little bit of a problem pulling it out, but this is working great. But if you do have a hook of some kind at the end of your key, which I don't, this is not really hooked. That's a deep cut there, but it's not hooked. But if you have a real hook, like some real low key cuts here, and then high at the end, well, that's going to give you some trouble. So think about your master key system a little bit. Like that comes right out now. You had to lubricate it. Those little teeny weeny pins. Nice. If you don't lubricate these things, every 6 months you need to go back and spray some tri-flow. Just get your little can of tri-flow. I'll leave that in the description. And sometimes if I'm doing a job, I'll send them a can of tri-flow, a little one, so that their maintenance guys can do it. Because it has to be done. And then you're going to want to test every key that you make in this cylinder. Make sure they all work. If they don't work, go back to the drawing board and cut a new key. You know, I should have tested the control key and the Grandmaster and Master keys. They do work perfect. I just did it. And let's see if the control key moves the lug. I think it does. Yep, perfect. And that one comes out just beautiful. That's a different cut, see? And that different cut is not quite so deep. Like it. I have a Dexter lock. This is from SFIC Lock. This is a grade 1 Dexter lock, commercial grade 1 storeroom. This is a great lock. I mean, in the world of locks, Dexter is like got it. Commercial hardware, Dexter. I'm liking Dexter. And, you know, look at who's making it. Allegiant. Super name brand. Let's take a look. Ooh, not many parts. We don't like a lot of parts. Parts aren't our friend. Okay, if you got piles of parts in there to put a lock together, that's kind of junk. And that's what we're looking for right there. See this? That is the Circle 8, and it matches our cylinder. And we got to put a tailpiece in there. And we are going to lubricate this thing like you wouldn't believe, okay? So let's get to it. I lubricate all my locks. I don't never send them out not lubricated. So I just put a bunch of splooge down in there. That will help for this to come out, and it will also help for it to turn. We have to have this to turn. We just have to. And you use the control key to put this in and out. So I just go down to the craft store. This is a whitening gel. I just repurposed this so I could suck up my mixture. Okay, you need a syringe to suck up your mixture, which is Lab, Lube, Teflon, and Triflow. Little runny, make it runny. Okay? This stuff is not friendly. It is so slippery, and you will just get your whole work area contaminated with it. Let's take the box away. I'm going to put everything back in the box, including the keys and everything, and ship it out that way. All one nice little shipping package. So, oh, you know what I need? I need the tailpiece. So they have a box of goodies in here. What do they have? They have 2 tailpieces. And in that it says 6 and 7 pins. And you need that spacer on there, by the way. So you follow the directions on the tailpiece. See, that's how you're going to do it. And I have a 7-pin, so the 6-pin tailpiece I keep for a 6-pin setup later. That is really nice. Great lock. If you buy knockoff locks like, I don't know, some cheapies, you have to do a ton of grinding, make weird tailpieces stuff. So you're going to need a lot of tailpieces. Let's just look at these instructions. So Dexter makes a great lock. So there's how it works. For highest security, insert a shield, that's that little thing there, spacer into the fork before inserting the cylinder. Cool. They have their reasons, so that's all I gotta do. Let me do this right. Nice packaging. Thank you, Dexter Lock. It's a killer lock. I paid a little extra for it because it has a clutch in it. If you try to break the handle, the clutch goes, and you can pull it back. Kind of nice. So I don't want to get mixed up. There's the 6 and 7 pin. So I'm going to use the 7 pin because the cylinder is longer. A 6-pin cylinder is shorter. I don't think I have one sitting here. No, I don't. But a 6-pin cylinder is shorter. So we want the 7-pin because it's actually that much shorter. And did I lubricate the back? I did not lubricate those holes. So we'll go ahead, shoot a little splooge in there. Why not? You don't need much. It's not going in very easy. Go down in there. Super cool, super cool. Now you don't want to contaminate everything. This stuff is really kind of not for your mouth. You don't want to eat this. So let's get the 7-pin separated. I'm going to take the 6-pin, put it over here, and we're going to put the cover over it, the shield they call it. I'm liking that. Must be a reason. We stick this bad boy in like this. Now I have had trouble in the past when I tried to insert these. It did not want to go into the locks. Let's just see how this one does. How the dexter, all lubricated up. You don't want to drop that off, so you kind of want to remember the locks can be on the door like this, but I'm preloading this one. And I want to turn it so it's out of the way. Okay? I'm going to put this in, and it goes right in. That's a very good sign. Some of them knockoff locks, I'm telling you, they don't machine these things properly, and you can't get the cylinders in and out. That's basically why this request for a new lock, because the inside of their old lock was broken inside there, evidently. Somebody sheared the thing off. You know, you don't know the real stories on this stuff. But let's test it and see if it works. I'm hoping, guys, after all this trouble. I'm going to shove a key down his throat. There we go. Now see that retract? Oh, it does. Look at that. That retracts. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take a can of Triflow and you can spray this thing. Now I have my super expensive lubricant, so we're going to go ahead and just do this with my expensive stuff because I don't want to spray my studio. So I always send everything out lubricated. Why not? Come on. Give these locks a fighting chance. I hate the fact that they don't lubricate them from the factory. All right, see all these moving parts in there? You better get them. So you look at this stuff. If you had a spray can, it'll get everything. But if you're using a syringe, it doesn't want to get everything. I got to go load my syringe back up. More super splooge. So all these parts you want to lubricate because it's sliding right here on this part here. I'll put a little there, put a little on this round part. Why they don't do this, I don't have a clue. I see metal shavings in locks in general, and it's all because nobody ever maintained anything. They never lubricated them in the beginning. Wow, it even works better, guys. I mean, seriously, it does. Do you want your locks to work? Lubricate your locks. What's it going to cost you? 10 seconds with spray. Shh, spray it down. And now I can test every key in a lock and see how they feel. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to test it all. Test all the keys. Nice. Oh, love it. Now let's try the master keys. Okay, that's what we want to do. Try these master keys. So here's the granddaddy master key. Perfect. Oh, and that comes out like butter. A key needs to be used a few times, just so you know. This is... And this is a control key, another control key. I had my own. Let's see if I can, oh, yeah, got it out. Did I ruin it? See, if they do this in the field and they take that out, there, see them little prongs? Now they got to get it to line up. So they may have to take a tool. They'll be all frustrated. Hey, we can't get this thing to work. And they just have to match it so it's sideways. So it's turned in there now. Okay, I got it sideways. It's good to show people because they're going to make this mistake. Wiggle it around. I got it. Remember, I had it in the cylinder first. I may have to get a pliers and get it out of there. I probably will. I'll just take my beautiful tweezers, pull this thing out, and start over again. Go ahead and put this in here like this. So you guys in the field probably want to take that out. Don't drop it. There. It's in. Medeco, I love you. Thank you so much. Hey guys, thanks for staying till the end. I hope you had a little fun today, learned a few things. The lubricant's a great thing. I love Medeco. Thank you. Smash that like button. Tell your friends. This is Mike with Door and Lock Tips. I love locks. All right, here's my jig. Right there. Look at this killer jig. I'm telling you, it's really killer. I got all kinds of junk on the floor. All right, look at this jig. Oh my. Lab IC Pro. I took the handle off. You don't need a handle on this thing. You got the big armed handle here. Now I have a big black armed handle, and I use that big black armed handle if I'm pressing a lot of stuff. So let's go ahead and put it in. See, you can't load springs in there until now. And how do you put those springs in? Look at, there's no room. So you're holding your fingers and you're trying to get them in and you lose count. That's not cool.